Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Ciso here, bringing guys yet another Illustrator tutorial here today. So if you guys don't know already, that means it's a logo design tutorial. Let's get it. I know it's been a while. However, I don't know. I know a lot of you guys are subscribed to me for logo design tutorials, but if you didn't know already, if you won't follow me on Twitter, @CisoHQ, if I've been learning mascot designing. I've been really striving, putting mad hours into it, and really trying to understand the fundamentals, the basics of mascot design. So I wanted to hit you guys with a sketch plus Illustrator tutorial on how to go about creating your mascot designing and really learning how to do, you really don't know how have to know how to draw. There you go. It's basically just really trying to figure out how your shapes are like fundamental and like how they're like, you know, composed and all that cool stuff. So I think I did a pretty good job explaining it. So if you guys want to check that out, of course, that's what you're about to watch right now. So don't forget, 200 likes on the video equals a secret down below, which will most likely be the Illustrator file of today's video. So if you guys want to go ahead and like explore in the file, you of course just leave a like, all that cool stuff. Share the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you guys did not already know, in the description down below, there's a Black Friday sale going on myselfi.com/CisoHQ store, which means the everything pack now is 50% off. The fourth time in the pack's history being live that is only $15 for a $175 value product, which is basically, I usually have it at $30, which is also crazy. So it's only $15. So check it out. It'll be live until Monday of whatever the date that is after Black Friday. So Monday the 28th. So if you didn't make it, even $30 is a really dope purchase for the product's price. So not even kidding, over 672 plus different people already purchased the pack, so it's not new. It's not like something. It's a thing. Okay, it's my #1 product because you get all those products in the actual store, plus all the ones that come out of the store. Basically, if I make a new product, make a new pack, you get it for free emailed to you if you have the access to the everything pack. So it's a pretty dope purchase. Basically, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, it starts off with a sketch. It goes into Illustrator. It shows you all the cool lining and stuff like that, all the basics, and really helps you understand what I kind of like helped understand what a mascot design is and how you can express yourself with it. Of course, this is a nice basic concept. It has no real crazy expression. It's symmetrical, but it's also really dope, and it does look actually pretty cool. And also, it ends with at least showing you guys all the basics of it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you guys later. So switch you out. Peace. Alright guys, so basically today, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to sketch a nice cool little line out. So basically, I do have to my left a nice little like a line picture. I'll probably like post it like somewhere around the screen just so you guys can see what I'm looking at as well. So I know I probably like went over this last clip, but if I did not, and if I forgot somehow, all I'm going to be doing is really just sketching out shapes. Like I said before, you really don't have to know how to draw, but you actually have to know at least how to do shapes. And like I'm talking really simple basic shapes, like a rhombus, like a square, rectangles, triangles, is all I'm going to be really using in a sense when I actually sketch out this cool little line. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind is you're not like sketching out all these different features, all of his fur. You're not doing all of that, because really, like realistically, if you look at mascot logos, it really just has like fun highlights, like placed highlights that either make sense to the expression or make sense to just make it look cool. And that's literally all it really is. So if I get started right now, I'm just gonna show you guys really quickly what I mean by like taking shapes. So I'm gonna be really just doing like a rhombus, like it would be like kind of like a diamond. I don't know why I said rhombus, but same difference, right? Like a diamond shape, right? Realistically, like two triangles if you think about it. Also, his mouth area, his nose area, at least, is going to be like another triangle, like right here. When you look at his like mane, it's literally going to be like a whole bunch of other triangles. Like, this is what I'm just thinking in my head. Like, realistically, give me a second. Does this look like a line right now? Kinda, you're lying to me if you say yes, but like, in a way, you can kind of start seeing what I mean by if you start doing things, it takes shape, and it starts to take the shape of whatever animal you are doing. So, that is what I'm going to be doing. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So, I'm going to go ahead and start off with at least the head shape, right? So, for the head shape, I'm looking at something like this. Alright, we're looking at like something like this. It comes out pretty far. And his head like kind of dips in right here. Not a dramatic dip, a pretty non-dramatic dip. He has like really big cheeks. Yeah, big cheeks. And something like that. Does that look bad? I mean, okay, for one thing I know for sure when I do this, when I do sketches on my own, in my free time, whatnot, I do say to myself a lot, does this just look like a lion? Now, if you're just doing this shape right here, if I'm going to be realistic, no, it really does not look like a lion, because it's just a shape right now. And it's just, something to work with. But when you have something like this, if you get stuck and you're like, oh, it doesn't look like a line, I don't know what to fix, just keep going for a second, all right? I promise you, you might actually start to see what you want to see. Now, this is my head shape. And also, cool thing is that when we do these mascot logos, I'm going to be doing a symmetrical design. I don't know if I said it before, but it's a symmetrical design. So everything I do on one side, all I really have to do is like I did these little dotted lines going into like a line down here to kind of give me a half and half sense. And that's all I'm really doing is give me like a half and half sense so that I know in the future when I move to Illustrator, these are going to be pushed toward this side. So there's going to be this same exact mirrored, shape on one side. So you don't really have to like try to like copy on one side. You can really just focus on one side. It's pretty cool. So we're going to go with a little nose here. Now I'm going to overlap on this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and say the nose looks kind of like a triangle and a W put together. Right? Something like this, almost. Probably not as dramatic and not as skinny. I feel like it's a lot more like something like this. Right? Kinda in a way. You're finding yourself, like if you're finding yourself stuck like this, it's literally, it's a process. It's not going to be something you're going to know how to do. Even if you do know how to draw, even if you do know how to do everything, it's still going to be a process to try to figure out, does this look like what I want it to look like? Realistically, I think what I'm missing here is just a little more, kind of like a little more drag over here. So I can actually get his little mouth right. Right, so something like here, drag this out a lot more, and then do something like that, and that way his mouth can go right here. Yes. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So literally what I did was I went ahead and just kind of like drew, like, it's almost like a couple hearts. Like you can kind of see that this is a heart right here, right? And then this is like another heart, and this is just like a triangle. Sure, we'll say that. And that's all I'm really doing. I'm going to go ahead and kind of fix this a little more. Make it a little more darker as well. And I think that's pretty good. And I'll just make this over here darker as well. And try to keep as like these like dark strokes as possible. That way I have something in the pen tool if I'm really, really lost in Illustrator. And for me, I think that's pretty dang good. So, and that's really just the head shape. This would be the, this like a little nose, kind of like as an indentation of his nose. And then to actually get his nose down, we're literally just looking at shapes. Like, if you can't tell right now, his nose honestly just looks like a big ass triangle with a W in the middle. And then his face is more like I said, a rhombus. And then for his nose, I feel like it's just another triangle. But I'm going to try and like, try to look, make it look a little better than just a triangle. So something like, goes in a little bit here. Something like that, right? And I can make that look cooler within Illustrator. Now, realistically, if you say to yourself, well, I don't want it like right here, you don't have to make your sketch perfect. Just say to yourself, okay, I need to make this bigger, and I also need to move this down. Like, you can just write down and move that down, make it bigger, make it down, whatever, and then you just keep a note, right? You don't have to make it super, super perfect. It's a sketch, you know what I mean? It's not like your final product. No one's going to see this part unless you're doing a tutorial like me. Okay, for his mane, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm looking at triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and do something like this. All right, and I like to do something like this. It's like spiky hair, like kind of. It's like a Goku thing going on here. Something like that, right? And I do something like this, something like that, and then like something like that. Now, okay, I'm going to fix this just a little bit, right? So I kind of want like a nice one here, here, keep it like this, there, and there. Okay, that doesn't look bad. I can work with that, right? And like I said, this is all just practice kind of stuff going on here. Like, it can be final if you want it to be, or you can just go into Illustrator and you can fix and do this over again, because this is really not that, complicated. But yeah, I'm okay with that, actually. And like I said, this is all just like triangles. I'm just doing triangles on the outside. Here's like another big triangle, what this is right there. There's like another triangle here. His nose, another triangle. And for his like eyes here, it would just be, what does it look like? It's like something like this, just something like that, right? Of the sort. Right, it's kind of something like that, but they're more like, it's really just like another circle. I'm not trying to copy it exactly. It's just like another circle and then something like that, right? It's just like a shape that goes like this. What's going on with his little eyelid there? Something like this, right? So just kind of make it look cooler on the left-hand side. And that's the cool thing about using half and half. You can just give yourself a nicer idea. And, of course, he has like little whiskers, right? I don't know if we're going to do these in Illustrator, but you just draw whiskers, make it look cool. That's pretty cool. So also I do know when I do strokes within Illustrator, it's actually pretty cool because I don't like to always just use like a stroke where you actually use the actual, option stroke within Illustrator. And I want to go ahead and just kind of like figure out what I want to see behind it. So for just in case you don't really understand, his face is either going to be black or white, right? Let me just, it's going to be like black or white. Or it's going to be color. Is it going to be color? I mean, no. His face is definitely going to be black and white. His nose is definitely going to be black. His hair over here can actually be a color. It can either be a color or like a gray, which would be pretty cool. And then I guess you can say, what I'm doing here. Like I'm going to start from here. And I'm going to say like what I'm doing here, which would be like the stroke realistically. From here to here will also be black. So you can help understand. Now, what I mean by stroke, usually strokes will copy the exact the width in every single short corner within Illustrator. The actual option will go ahead and kind of give you that exact shape like protruded outside, right? But for me, I kind of think it gives more character if you do it on your own. So I'm gonna go ahead and sketch yet again another example of like another mane outside here, and it also kind of gives the I guess the illusion that there's like layers of hair, which realistically there are, unlike a mane and a lion. So this will look pretty cool. Now, you can start to see a line here. You can't say that it's not completely perfect, but right here, I know right here, I have to push this out. So I'm going to say to myself, I have to push this out, push out, right? Because it's kind of too skinny from here to here, right? And then also, let's say, this is actually pretty okay. I think we're almost done here. Actually, realistically, I think we are done with this sketch. I'll just make everything a nice dark stroke so I can actually see it within Illustrator. Right. Something like that. Okay. I'm actually pretty satisfied with this. And so that's literally all we did. It's just, here we go, more triangles on the outside. Right? And then that's all you really have to do. Now, I see that and you're saying to yourself, okay, I try this, it looks nothing like this. Well then, once again, focus on the shapes, okay? You have to at least understand what shapes you're looking at. Like I said, on that picture over there, I'm looking at triangles here. Right, I'm looking at the triangle with a W in the inside. Is literally what I'm saying. Like W is what that is. So I'm basically taking this right here, this W, and this part of the triangle, and making the nose essentially, right? And that goes throughout the entire actual design. You can see this looks like triangles on the outside, like his face, or his face, like I said, is a rhombus, right? Or like a square concept, if you want to say that as well. And that's really, really what it is. Now, I think we're pretty much done here. Like the eyes I'm not incredibly good at, but I think I'll just leave it something like this and I work with it in Illustrator and whatnot, right? That looks pretty cool. Let's see, let's kind of make his nose just a little better. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna throw this into Illustrator and you're gonna see, we're gonna make this into freaking magic, okay? We're gonna throw on some like shapes, we're gonna throw on some strokes, and we're gonna throw on some highlights and make it a lot cooler. Now, your sketch is going to always look less or look just a little bit, when you put it into Illustrator and put some work into it. Now, this is a pretty quick sketch. It can be a quick sketch. You can take an hour on a sketch. You can take 2 hours on a sketch. You can take 10 seconds on a sketch and then throw it in Illustrator. And I think all the time it'll always look better in Illustrator unless you're a great drawer. But if you're like me and you suck at drawing, this is the best it's going to get. And you're going to throw it in Illustrator. You're going to make it 10 times better. So, like I said, we're going to throw this in Illustrator, and, you can sign it, make it cool, be like, hey, and then you can, like, put on Behance and be like, get that cool, like, freaking, whatchamacallit, what do you call those things? Templates? Oh, God. Mock-ups, right? Be like, oh, here's my sketch right here, and then here's, like, the process. So, save your sketch if you wish to, but the way I export mine, if you're wondering, I use my phone, and then I actually just email it to myself. And I go on my computer, get the email, and then that is how I bring my sketch. So you don't have to use a scanner. If you want to use a scanner, go for it. But literally, you can just take a picture of it and just toss it in your email. So we're going to do that, and we're going to head right in there right now. Sweet. All right, guys. Now that we are in Illustrator, we are ready to go. We have our sketch about to be placed in here. Really quickly, I want to show you guys the document size that I use when I'm in Illustrator. I go ahead and go to File, New, change my units to points, and I make my width and my height both at 4K. Now, the reason for that is when I actually use this document, if I want to save 4K images or something like that, which is a pretty big size, of course, right? It can be used for most small things like people would like to use their logos for, and also, of course, After Effects. Illustrator is a a vector program, right? So of course, if they need to size anything else again, they can just go ahead and resize the document in Illustrator, or just keep the same 4K image and expand it, because it is a vector and it can be expanded and decreased in size without moving or changing the quality. Now, like that's what I mean by when I go to File, Save for Web, they can just have this saved as a 4K by 4K resolution, points in PNG24, and they get a nice little picture out of it, right? So I don't want to take incredible amounts of time in actually doing a mascot design, because of course my practices, you know, when I do mascot designing, just literally take up 2.5 to 3 hours for just practicing, of course. But I want to show you guys at least the actual process of creating a nice, good one, of course, right? I'm going to show you guys the process of actually duplicating shapes to make your facial structures, pen tooling, and like the highlights, shadows, and within like all that, just creating like some just really cool little techniques, right? But I want to take incredible amounts of time, so I'm going to finish off with a nice little finish off speed art. So it's going to be pretty cool little ending right there, so to show you guys like all the, you know, mistakes that I possibly want to fix, or little things just to help you guys out in creating and understanding what I mean by, you know, take a little more time on it. But of course, the end result is not going to be at an extremely great, oh my god. It's going to be more of like a, oh, this is how I do it. So that's what I plan on doing for you guys today. Really quickly, I want to show you guys the pen tool, however. If you guys don't know how to use the pen tool, also, I'm going to make a new layer really quickly. Use Control R to get rulers, or view rulers, right? And then just put a ruler in the middle, so you can have a ruler, and also change your name to ruler so you know what that layer is. That way you're gonna thank me, because if you're doing something like this where you only have half and half of a sketch, your ruler will help you in duplicating over the shape. So pen tooling, right? So pen tooling, it's kind of like it's the same in Photoshop, right? It's the same little process. And of course, if you click once, you get the anchor point. If you click again, you get another anchor point, and you can keep clicking all the way until you want to like come back and actually fill it in and actually close the path down, where you can't actually add any more points without actually clicking on your pen tool and selecting or on the path and adding the points itself. Now that is one thing, but of course we have curves in our little sketch here. So the way you do that, of course, is clicking, and your second click, you're going to click and drag. It gives you 2 extended points right here, as you can see, and you can hold Control on each of the each side and kind of like figure out. You can see if I move over here, it gets more of a curve over there, more of a curve over here. So for something like this little part, I'm going to be doing in a little bit, which is a pretty unique, really sleek curve. Click and drag. Oops, excuse me. Click and drag. And then to get this little sleek curve, I'm going to move this closer to this side, and you'll see that the curve gets more sleeker and it's not just a straight line. Now also a thing you want to learn is that the other extended point does have a purpose. When you click again, you'll see that this has a really nice, sleek, perfect, like seamless transition of having a nice curve on this side now. That is because you have this selected, or excuse me, this still active, your active extended point over there. Now also, if you didn't know already, but do something like this, where I'm going to be penciling something like this out, where it has like a point here. All you have to do is hold Alt on your point, at least for Photoshop, but holding Alt, I just have a tendency of doing it. It also does the same exact thing if you just click on it. It just makes it into an actual anchor point, where if you click over here, it'll have like a more of a point area right there, right? So you'll see that that is how I'm going to be doing the hair over here for the mane. And like I said, if I just move over here again, there's no curve to go outside. But if you want to make an artificial curve, if you hold Alt, select the anchor while it's like, if you like lost like the extended point already, but you can also press Control Z to go back. But Alt, hold the point, click on the point, and then move this over. This actually brings out an extended point. It'll make an artificial curve for you. However, you'll probably see that this has like a nice, or not a nice, it's kind of like an annoying little, it's very seamless to see, but you'll see that this kind of has like more of a point to it. Right here, you'll see like the point of actually making the curve, rather than keeping it a regular anchor point, which is something like that, where it doesn't have any point. It's completely seamless, completely perfect. So that is the pen tool, and that is how you're going to be using the pen tool for today's tutorial. So for the first part we're going to be doing is the face's, I guess, structure or shape, right? So I'm going to go about this just like so, and we are going to go ahead, give this. Also, a quick thing really quick. You see how I have these little black lines here, of course, right? So what you can do is either follow my mouse for a second, is go over here, and then stop here, move it over, make a duplicate, yada, 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 right? We're going to see that in a second. Or you can follow this outline line right here, and then finish it off with this entire one shape, and then add a stroke for this actual nose part. And then if you want to do it the way we have the face as one layer, or one actual shape, you can actually have the nose is another shape and have it above it, but I like to do it and follow the path like on its own, like this, right? That's how I would like to do it. but you can also, like I said, finish it off going this way and then making the nose afterwards. But I feel like it's got a little tedious that way, but whatever way works for you. Now, I'm going to turn off my stroke and fill. If you guys didn't notice already, you have a stroke fill, so you have a stroke path, color chooser, sure, and a fill, right? So this is right here. This is your fill. You can turn it off by either clicking here, which is press none, the little slash. That's how you turn it off. You put a gradient on, or you can put a color on, a solid color. But this is how you both turn them all off, right? I usually like to turn them off for the actual when I'm actually doing everything, and then I'll turn it on later. And the way you do that is you can't really turn it on. It's not like Photoshop. It won't remember what color you want to choose because you're not on a layer. Even if you're on a selected layer, it still doesn't matter what you do. You have to make sure you press the circle target, which will actually allow you to actually then change the color. And there's like a little hint for today, a little tip for today, because you will possibly forget. I think I like it like this. We're good with that, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna move this up just a little bit though. And then we're gonna just basically do this. Now, holding Alt will allow you to make a duplicate when you're actually clicking on a shape. So I'm gonna click on the shape, holding Alt, right? And then also Shift. The reason why I'm holding Shift is also it actually makes the orientation completely the same. So if I were to move this back by holding Shift, you'll see that this is perfectly still in the same orientation line. So if I were to, when I right click, transform, reflect, pressing OK, and then if I put them together, they will be perfectly symmetrical on both sides. But if you weren't holding Shift, really quick, I'm going to show you guys by hiding this layer. If you weren't holding Shift, you made a duplicate. Let's just say you went holding Alt only to make it like a duplicate of it. You'll be able to see that if I come back around this way, it's by not holding Shift, you actually might mess up and actually ruin the actual orientation. So make sure you guys hold Shift just to make sure. And then what you guys can do, this is not perfect. Of course not. I didn't actually move it over yet. Boom. Now it's on the same exact line, right? No, it's not. We got to make sure these lines are together on the blue line. I don't know if I forgot if I did the bottom one or not, but make sure that these lines are both on the blue line that way. And you want to do that like when you actually figure this one out. You want to make sure that these are on the lines before you duplicate it. But I just did it just now just because I could. And I'm gonna go ahead and go use the shape. The Pathfinder. So you want to go to Windows, and then you want to go to Pathfinder. And then this is going to allow you to give these little shape modes here. It's probably going to be like in here somewhere. Just you can move it out if you want to. But it gives you the shape modes where you have unite, separate, etc. And what you want to do is you want to unite. Because right now, as you can see, these are two different shapes that you can move out, right? If you select both of them with shift click on unite, this will allow it to be actually one entire shape. So it's a pretty cool little thing. I would definitely suggest you to do that. And for like most of the, for the rest of this entire thing, because I will be doing that myself to make one shape, it's kind of like a secure way of making sure that it's basically like saying you penciled this entire thing out perfectly, but what you just really did was symmetrical, use duplications, and it's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to turn off a fill for this and put on a stroke. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use stroke over here. And if you don't have this up, go to Windows, Stroke. Also, if you don't have these options, the cap corner, align to stroke, you probably don't have show options enabled. So make sure you click that on the top right. So when you have this selected, I'm in a 4K by 4K resolution, so I'm going to use 60 points, just like so. And then you'll see, you don't really worry about this for now, the corner caps and stuff like that. Just worry about align for stroke. And you can use align center. Inside, you'll see it change, go to the inside, and only on the outside, right? So the center is kind of like both sides of the path are even. This one's only on the inside of the path, and this one's only on the outside of the path. So I like to use inside a lot more. Now, some people use strokes in a different way, but really quick before I show you guys that, I'm going to make a duplicate of this by holding Alt and dragging this layer below it, kind of like Photoshop as well. And I'm going to turn on a fill for this. That way we have two different separate layers for each of the face stroke, we're just going to keep it, and then face period, right? And that's just so you can, you'll thank me later if you do this. Do not use the same layers. I know both layers have, you can turn both the stroke and the fill on one separate shape, but one solid shape, but use a separate shape because it'll save you guys much time if you got to change anything or fix anything. I promise you to make sure you actually leave it as is with two different shapes. Now, some people like to use stroke by using like a duplicate of the face, right? Selecting this one and go to, I believe, object, path, offset path, and then you can change this around here, and this does also make a stroke as well. It depends which one you want to do. All of them work. That's just another little technique. There's going to be a bunch of techniques. People are going to be like, oh, you shouldn't really do that in the comment section below. And I'll be like, it's just really what works for you kind of thing. So what I'm going to do really quickly is show you guys that you can also use transparency, which is like opacity in Photoshop, right? So you can turn it on by going to Windows Transparency, go to opacity, and you can lower the opacity so you can see through the face color, and you can change that a little bit, right? So that way I can actually finish this little nose. So for this, what I like to do is going to make the little extended nose part, because right now this just looks like a, you know what it looks like. So basically, we're going to go ahead and finish off the stroke of the nose. So I'm going to basically kind of fix this so it actually aligns with the same exact little curvature on this black line here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this control point. And then make sure that's like that. I'm going to click on it to make it straight and no extended point. And I'm going to make a nice little point right there. And then connect it, and what I'm gonna have to do, oops, I gotta fix this first, so what I'm gonna have to do is, I'm gonna change this color to the same color as this stroke. So to get that stroke color, basically select the target color, click on the stroke, Control C, come over here, click on the fill color, and Control V. Very simple, right? To take that same exact color. And then what you can do as well is Alt, Shift, drag it over, right click, transform, reflect, and press OK. And then move this on the same exact line, just like so, and then you're good to go. Oh, I missed. It's like 1 pixel too far. That'll work. Sweet. So, there you guys see that this is kind of like now forming a nose, but I want to finish the actual nose itself. Now I'm going to use the ruler again here, because I want to know where the middle is. So I'm going to make my little nose. I'm going to show you guys a little technique, right? Cool little thing you can do when you're doing your nose is when you make your solid shape, and make sure, of course, you zoom in. Also, you might run into the problem where you say, use a direction selection tool. Use A on your keyboard, which is a shortcut. That's how you select a point on its own. If you're using this tool, which is the actual selection tool, if you try to select one point and move it over, you're actually moving over the entire design without you probably noticing because you're zoomed in. So if you're saying, why am I moving my entire thing? It's because you're using the direct selection tool. Make sure you're using the actual, or because you're using the selection tool, which is this one right here, right? The V selection shortcut, which is the selection tool, which is going to move the entire actual path. But if you're using the direct selection tool, it's going to only choose 1 point at a time, which will allow you to move 1 point at a time. Also, you can also select all the points with this tool. If you were selecting 1 point, you can hold Alt, click, and then also move the entire thing as well. So that is a little shortcut. Now, for the nose, little cool thing is if you press L on your keyboard, it brings the ellipse tool. Now, this is going to allow you to do is, of course, make a circle. So if I just make a circle, I'm going to try and make a nostril, right? So for like the person's, excuse me, the animal's nose. So if I shift click on both of these layers, you'll see that there's 3 different shapes really inside this actual selection. If I press Shift M, it gives me this shape builder tool. Now you can also see right here, when I hover over, there's actually basically 3 honest shapes. So if I click on one shape right here, you'll see that this circle is no longer actually a complete like ellipse. It's more of 3 different shapes. So you can see right now, that is a way you can also cut out the nose here. But what I like to do is basically see that if, okay, this is not cut out no longer. Shift M, shape builder tool, there's a plus sign and there's also a minus sign. So basically what minus does is we'll take away that shape within the other shape of the shape builder tool. So if I click minus over here as well, there you go. Now you only have a one-sided, a nice cutout of a circle, which is completely perfect. You really can't pencil it out unless you're really good at it, but if you are, that's fine. Or if you don't want to do this, that is also fine. But that is a way you can make a really simple, quick nostril, which looks pretty cool. And now you can simply go ahead and make it in 1-to-1 by using the shape builder tool or the Pathfinder, and then using Night. There we go. Now we got our nose that looks pretty sick. We're gonna move this a little farther down and make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. Now we have our nose, which looks pretty badass. So basically now I'm gonna actually do the, really quickly I'm gonna do the bottom of this little chin area, I guess, or his mouth area. Make sure I use my ruler. Click. Boom. Right. Make sure these are on the blue line, so when I duplicate it, it's actually perfect. And also, you can see that this little white line right here is because of your face. It's because of this layer right here. If you want to get rid of that, all you have to do is click on your face layer, select your face layer, and then use Control and just bring in it with Alt and Shift selected on the corner. Bring it in just a little bit. And you'll get rid of that annoying line right there. That's just a way you can fix it really quickly. And I'm going to go ahead now and finish this off by putting this like here. Moving that like right there is pretty good as well. And then Shift, drag it over, transform, reflect, put it on this point, connect these points with unite, and now it's one solid shape. Sweet. Now I got a little mouthpiece thing going on there. I like it. Perfect. Sweet. So now what I'm going to do is the main part. So I showed you guys how to actually use that sharp, or how to make that sharp corner. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this. I'm going to put a new layer below everything. And we're going to start this off. I'm going to close off the actual fill color as well, so there's no color when I do this. So I'm going to do something like this, right? Select. You can't probably see my pencil that well, but it's right here. I'm pressing Alt, clicking on this point to make an anchor point. Click, drag, and now there's a nice sharp corner here. So if I actually do turn this on, you'll see there's a nice sharp little edge there. I can press Alt-click, or actually just click on it as well, and make a nice click, drag, and then you're just basically repeating that. And of course, it depends where you're doing it. If you're even doing a hairstyle like this, you can probably like Google different ways to make mascot hair. I don't really know. I don't really know if that's actually a thing, but all I'm doing is doing like basically triangles is kind of what I'm thinking in my head when I'm actually doing this. And all you gotta do is when you finish it out is go ahead. Oh, I lost the pen tool. There it is. Oh God. There we go, and then something like this, and then I'll connect it over here at the top. All right, and I'll zoom in, make sure it's in the middle. That is in the middle. Is this one in the middle? No, not quite. Make sure this is in the middle. And this is kind of like a basic rinse and repeat kind of process. Now for me, this is a little too close to the face. I think I said that in the sketch. I was gonna move this over a little bit, and there we go. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. Like, that actually looks dope as hell. Sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same exact routine. Connect this beast over here. Unite it with the Pathfinder tool. And now we have our main going on. So you can see that this is starting to actually take form of a line, which is actually really, really sick. And I'm very happy you can probably start to see it now. Also, what I'm going to do is select this and click on that and make sure that is that color. It looks like almost like a monkey as well. We're going to actually show you guys really quickly. I'm going to make sure that this is going to be our color for the main, right? Your color, I'm going to be super tilted. You're probably not going to like the color I chose because I don't like the color I chose. And I'm also going to change my face to opacity 100. So that's what I'm going to do as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to actually make this into a stroke. Am I? Yes, we're going to do that, make it into a stroke really quick. So go ahead, make it to a stroke. Make sure I use the same stroke color. Super inner width. I don't know if I can use 60, of course, that's too wide. So of course there's going to be different stroke sizes between everything, because this is like the mouth little section. And what I'll do is I'll make a new layer below that, and then quickly go around it, and then fill that in with a fill, right? That's what I told you guys before, to try to use 2 separate layers for each, at least part of it. So you'll thank me later, like I said. So there we go. We got something else going on here, and it looks pretty badass, right? And you also saw what I did before, where I didn't actually put strokes in before. At the moment, it looked like kind of like a what do you call it? Like a shadow, but not a shadow. You guys, a silhouette, right? That's also another designing technique, how people like to do mascot designs. So right now, for me, this looks super dope. And like I said before in the actual sketching video, is that you can do 2 things when you want to do the stroke. You can either do this, make a duplicate of the actual main by holding Alt, dragging a layer below it, selecting it with the target circle, putting on the stroke, turning off the fill, put your stroke on, put it to 60. I'll just put it to 60 now. Putting it on the outside, and then just change your color to the actual stroke color of the inner face as well. And then you can do something like that. However, it doesn't look as cool, and it looks kind of lazy, and I don't really like it so much. That's why I don't like to do it. What I like to do is I like to just make a new layer and actually pencil it out myself again. And I think it also gives your main or whatever you're doing a lot more character. So I'm going to do that right now, and we're going to speed it up just a little bit so I can get this going for you guys. Okay, perfect. Now that we have this here, basically all that's really left is highlights and the eyes. Right now I'm going to do the highlights really quickly to show you guys how I do that. Now there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can pencil the entire left side or whatever, duplicate it over, and like follow the exact, I'm gonna show you guys what I mean actually. Make a new layer above your main, right? Which is this inner color right here. And I'm gonna use my rulers as well to say this is where I wanna start. Now what you can do is basically go around and kind of like, this is the part where you're gonna have to have fun, right? This is like kind of like what makes the actual design look alive. It looks a lot more better when you actually have highlights. It looks kind of boring if you don't. So have fun with this. What I'm basically doing is kind of mimicking what's going on the outside, but not completely making it, of course, perfect to what's in the outside red here. I'm kind of having fun with it, right? And I'm going to connect it just like so, right? That was pretty fast. And like you can have a lot more fun with that. I'm going to just go ahead and not go up actually. You see, I'm not focusing on what's going to be happening. If I duplicated this on this side, it would look like the actual main was black, and then we did a red highlight. To make sure that you understand what I'm doing, I'm going to go around this way, right? Clicking on this blue line and connecting it. So what I'm going to be basically doing is using the shape builder tool like we did with the actual nose, is clicking on both of these, either shift clicking on the actual groups or shift clicking on the actual target layers, shift M, holding alt, pressing minus, or see the minus, clicking on it, and now we have a shape right here within it. And this is what we want, right? Because we have a color on the inside, and then we're going to have a color on the outside. Now what you can do is hold I on your keyboard or click I on your keyboard. It gives the eyedrop tool, select the same color as the main, and then you can basically double click over here on the selection tool for color, selection color tool, and then going up a little bit to the left to make it a vibranter, does that even make sense? A more vibrant red. Now you can go about like using actual, complementary colors or whatever. What basically highlights is in either a lighter shade of the actual design or a darker shade. It depends on what you do. It all really honestly, like, of course, lighter shades are highlights, and then of course, did I actually not fix this? Oh man, rip. I forgot to fix this. Lighter shades are highlights, and then darker shades are shadows. All right, so now I think that's fixed. I think I did that right now. Go ahead and reflect it, and then we'll keep it on this point here, and then see if it merges together, and it doesn't up top, but that's okay. That'll work. You can see, there we go. Now you have a little highlight there, which looks pretty dope. You can also do a highlight on the face. Now that also, it's like a really big deal. I feel like it doesn't look as cool if you don't have a highlight in the face as well. I don't even have my eyes in here yet, but I'm going to quickly do like a simple highlight on the faces, which I'm kind of, like I said before, is mimicking the outside. And with the face, I always like to have a white face and a gray highlight on the face. So let's do something like this. I'll give a little character by doing like a little thing right here. Stopping at this point here. And cutting through. Just like so. Cutting through. Going around. Actually, I'm going to go outside, right? Outside the face, remember? Click on this blue here. This line and make sure it's in the middle. Then I'm going to go ahead and select the face, which is right here. Shift click on both of them. I can delete that, just like so. And as long as this face stroke is under it, it'll be perfectly fine. And now you can basically take this layer, make it into a nice gray, and go ahead and move this and duplicate this over. Reflect it, and go about this, connecting it over here. And now you have a nice little, highlight on the face over here as well. So right there, it automatically looks a lot better. It looks a lot more fun, looks a lot more, it just looks so much better when you put highlights around. Now, the eyes are kind of difficult. So I'm going to show you guys how I kind of go about the actual features of my eyes on my mascots. You can see here, I kind of did it over here. And basically what I did was, I went ahead and just kind of like did an eyelid and then apply the eye. So I'm going to show you guys kind of like my go-to when I do my eyes. So basically, I like to do like an eyelid thing. I call it an eyelid thing because that's what it is to me. Something like that, right? Kind of looks like eyebrows. You can call it whatever it is. It's supposed to be like the eye socket, right? There's the eye socket. Below the eye socket is a new layer with a different pen tool that actually has the eye in it, right? Okay. So I can make this color into black. Oops, why'd I cancel it? Press OK next time. There you go. There we go. Now you have like a black eye. Actually, we want a red eye. There we go. And now what you can do, I also want a black eyelid. There we go. Now we're looking good. I'll make this a little bigger really quickly. I like that. And this is a little too wide at the top. like I said, you'll struggle. I promise you. Everyone does. That's just the design process and what you're basically getting paid for if you do this for a client and stuff. So what you can do also to kind of like highlight the eyes is you can do just a little fun stuff, like do something like this and make it black. It's kind of like, I guess, a little added little feature you can do there. Or you can like use a reference as well. Just go on Google, get like, you know, lion's face close up or something like that, and figure out what shapes are honestly in the eye. But of course, the eyes do give a very, very big emotion dip. So if you like don't make your eye look at least somewhat believable, you'll make your eyes look like your lion's about to cry or something like that. You want to make it look fierce. So I like to have this like triangle going downward kind of thing going. I'm gonna duplicate this over, reflect it, press OK, and basically those are my eyes. Like, it kind of looks like it's about to cry, like I said. I think that's okay. I'm actually going to move them down. Also, to group things in Illustrator, all you got to do is make a new layer, shift-click on all the layers you want to put in, and then just drag them in. Very, very simple. That way I can actually drag everything down here. It looks a little better. I mean, they are okay, but I would love to fix them, but I don't want to take too much time. But I do not like incredibly much how this is actually looking. I would like to have this a little further out, like this way. Like something like that. But like I said, this is like a process. You can't really just get this done in like the time I did. I just want to show you guys all the basics of how I'd go about it. I think that looks okay. That'll work for now. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate that over. And basically, I would say we're practically done. Now, the end of this tutorial is going to be like a little speed art of me like kind of finishing and fixing what I kind of don't like or what I really wanted for the actual thing. Like, you can like look at the face over here, or excuse me, the picture that you use for reference, and kind of like figure out what you honestly really, really want to have. Like, I know for the noses, they have more of like a little lip action going on here, so you can add that in. You can add like a nicer or a nice little outside ring highlight for the actual, like the coating in the back, like this back, I guess, stroke you would call it, right? And you can do all of that fun stuff. And that's all more or less like what you want to do with the design overall, right? So basically right now, as you can see, my mascot does look like a lion, honestly, and it does look pretty freaking cool. So I do hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video. Do not forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Please check the top of the link for the everything pack. That is $15, $150 value for only $15. Are you kidding me? And you also get every product that comes out of my store for free, emailed to you at the same exact day it comes out. Pretty freaking awesome pack. And it's also, if you don't get the pack on the sale date, please just go ahead and check it out. $30 is honestly a good price for it as well. 670 people currently have it, 670 plus, and it's a really, really great product for you guys to use as new designers. Also, follow me on Twitter at SysHQ. If you want to ask me any questions, anything like that, please go ahead and do so in the Twitter or comment section below. Please go ahead and check out Top 3 Designs series, Top 3 Designs of the Week, where you get some really cool exposure, all that fun stuff. And I really hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. Talk to you guys next time. Please subscribe and like. I love doing this now. Like, I want to do more tutorials. If you guys want to see more logo tutorials, let me know, and we're gonna get that going. So talk to you guys later. SysHQ out. Peace.